For me personally, I'm greatly saddened by the destruction that has been happening in Syria and the Middle East in general. But you know, Syria was my home. It's my cultural home. The U.S. is also my home too. I grew up here. I'm bringing up a family here. So it's very sad to see that. It's very sad to sort of consider that I have no idea when I'll really be able to go back to Syria or when I'll be able to bring my children there to see that. For the foreseeable future, that's not realistic. So nostalgia is very much on my mind, you know, on the minds of my friends and my colleagues who are from the region as well. And so in a way, as artists, we feel like we are in a new Andalusia, you know, and we are like those Moors that went to the West in Spain and found beautiful nature. They found, you know, new things to express, to be expressive about in their poetry, in their architecture, in their literature. We are finding the same inspiration here, while still kind of retaining ties to where we grew up.
The image of Andalusia is so potent, knowing that, you know, 1492, the terrible, basically ethnic cleansing that happened at that time,
right?
And how that plays out in the imagination currently is complicated.
Yeah. We also, you know, you have to remember that 1492 was the year Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and then, you know, the ethnic cleansing that continued, you know, on into the West, certainly through Latin America and here, you know, in the U.S. with native populations. So that was a you know, really big turning point in history, and it's something to really think about. But there are also so many things that have lasted, that are still powerful and still inspiring and still beautiful despite all of that suffering. And I think that that gives us hope, I suppose, that there can be this continuity of the human spirit despite all of these difficulties. In some ways, I represent not necessarily another nation or another people, but another culture. And I think that's more important because that can communicate directly from a person to person on a very personal level. And I think we can say, you know, at this time in history, but I think at any time in history, it's always been really important to try to make that personal connection. And I feel like minds are changed or attitudes are sort of convinced or opened is when there is that kind of person-to-person contact. And I feel like the arts are really some of the most effective ways of making that connection.